I want to touch on something really heavy-hearted on me. It really hit me so hard. I've read it before, but just the gravity of it didn't hit me like it has now. Talking about the Garden of Gethsemane on a Thursday night where Jesus prayed to the Father. There's different accounts given of it, but let's look at Matthew first. Here's Jesus in the garden. Then cometh Jesus with them into a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. All his weight was coming down on him. Then he said unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. He wanted, his human side wanted comfort from the other men. He went a little farther. Then he fell on his face and prayed. Not to his knees. He went down to his face. Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. He cometh to the disciples, and he findeth them asleep. Said unto Peter, What, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Our flesh is always weak, folks. Your flesh, you'll never overcome your flesh. Sin is just, your flesh is just weak. Till we get our resurrected bodies at the rapture, your flesh is always going to tempt you. Oh, wretched man that I am, Paul said. It goes on in other gospel accounts to talk about Jesus sweating blood. Said it was as blood. I believe it was actual blood sweating out of him, because there is a condition when you get anxiety so bad and nervousness that blood can actually come out of your pores. When you see this Garden of Gethsemane, people, here's Luke's account. And he came out and went as he went to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples also followed him. And when he was at place, he said unto them, Pray that ye enter not into temptation. He was withdrawn from them, about a stone's cast. He was over away from them, and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. So the Father sent an angel down from unto heaven to strengthen him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. His sweat was as if it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. When he rose up from the prayer, he was come to his disciples. He found them sleeping for sorrow. He said, Why sleep ye? Rise and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. You see, this agony and all this that Jesus is feeling, he's not scared to die, like some of these idiots want to try to say, or being a sissy, or I don't know what you'd say. That's not it. What's happening here is he realizes that the whole entire world's sin is going to come down on him. His human side. It's agonizing. If there's any other way, do it that way. But if it's your will, I'm doing it. He always was willing to die. When Peter cut the man's ear off, Jesus told him to put up his sword. I can call 10,000 angels. Here, he didn't have to do that. He could call 10,000 angels and wiped out everybody. It wasn't anything to do with the fear of dying or the beatings you're going to take with the cat of nine tails. His flesh opened up, crown of thorns put on him, spit on. Can't even describe. It said Isaiah said you couldn't even tell he was a man on the cross. He was so badly beaten. Still he's rejected. Still he's rejected. The gravity of every single sin that everybody, think about how many sins you commit, and then think about the billions of people that are born. All those sins laid down on one man. One man. It really hit me hard. On Thursday night, before his crucifixion, there he was, talking to his Father. Some 20 hours later, he would die on the cross. During that time, in 3 hours, the Lord sent darkness down over the earth when he poured out the sin of the world onto his Son. Jesus is all God. God is all. We understand that he is all God and he's all man, the Trinity. Think about your son. How much you love him, or your daughter, or the closest person to you, that you would send them to take this kind of punishment. Jesus did it. He did it all. He took the sin of billions and billions and billions and billions of sins onto himself. He wasn't worried about dying there. He's willing to do it. He was agonizing over all that sin that's going to be poured out onto him. When he hung on that tree for 3 hours in the dark, taking everybody's sin. There's where it was finished. Even Jesus said it is finished. Which means he didn't go to hell and burn. Some of these crazy people say. He did descend to hell, but he didn't burn there. He went to the paradise. Well, the heart of the earth. I won't say hell. He went to the heart of the earth. You want to call it, I guess he did go over to hell when he preached to the demons. He preached to demons there, the ones that were locked up for fornication that they did, Genesis 6. Fallen angels that intermingle with human women. 1 Jude 6. Or Jude 1:6, sorry. Jude 1:6, you can read about them. Fallen angels, they're chained there waiting for judgment. They've been chained there since they did this stuff. Folks, I'm going to beseech you again. Don't reject this man that did this. He did it for you. Quite a heavy thing to think about. The Garden of Gethsemane. I have a hard time saying it. Gethsemane. If you haven't accepted the Lord, please go to 1 Corinthians 15, verses 1 through 4. Watch my other videos on being saved. Thanks.